Oh. So it's like really, really early. And Sunday morning sucks sometimes. That's better. Now we got a podcast to record. All right, from all of us here at TitanCast, this is us signing off. All right, that's a pretty decent TitanCast. If you want to check it out, link in the description. And we got stuff to talk about. A little bit. I mean, something that really bothers me, and it's a question I'm always getting, is the size of my collection. How many games do I have? The number I have is somewhere around 600 complete in box. Incomplete, you're talking like maybe another 600 disc only, just all over the place. But the thing is why do we always make it about the size of our collection? Why do we always make it about the most rare item we have? Why aren't we talking about the memories we had? Why aren't we talking about the experiences we've had with these games? Why has it always got to be a top 10 or whatever the case it might be? And it's honestly something that's really irritated me about this community ever since I got back involved with it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that there's the thrill of the hunt and all the rest of this crap, and people really enjoy going out there and trying to find stuff in the wild and building up these massive collections to show off. I understand that. And I mean, granted, I have a crap ton of games. I mean, just the other week, I picked up, a complete backwards compatible PS3. Why? Well, part of it is I want to be able to record HD footage from it from the PS2. And part of it is that my original PS3 in this case, it doesn't work anymore. So, I mean, I've got freaking 5 of them in a box that are like Yellow Light of Death. And I picked up this the other day, a mint copy of Silent Hill 3. I don't have it. Yeah, I can emulate it, but this was a game that really mattered to me back in the day. And I want to have it back on the shelf. I want to be able to pull it off and play it up in the actual console, whether it be the PS2, backwards compatible PS3, or whatever the case is. And I want to have it, so I understand that. Don't get me wrong in saying that collecting is a bad thing. I just think that our community puts way too much of an emphasis on it. It's like all those games back there, I mean, really, there's only like 2 or 3 rare games up there. Skies of Arcadia is really rare. I mean, I've got a collector's box for Horizon Zero Dawn, but truth be told, there really isn't a lot of rare games up there. One of the most prominent games that sits on that shelf, most of y'all never even see. It's Afterburner for the Sega Master System. I mean, it's a piss poor port by all regards. Frame rate, draw distance, everything. The sound, I mean, it's a horrible game by most people's accounts. But for me, it's one of the most impactful games in my entire library. It is the reason why I became the quote-unquote Southern Sega gentleman. Because that's the very first Sega game I ever played on my very first Sega console. It wasn't mine, it was my cousin's. He had a Master System, and this was when I was 5 years old. And I can remember being that 5-year-old kid, literally, moment by moment, whenever I booted up the game and heard, that little Sega. I remember that. And I remember just how much fun I had just flying through this world like I was in Top Gun and just annihilating everything. Hell, it was the game that made me want to be a Sega fanboy or get on board with Sega. It's the reason why not 2 weeks later I picked up a used Genesis. It was the console, it was the game that started me down this path. And another game that sits up there that I've talked about it plenty of times, or at least the franchise, would be Panzer Dragoons Y. I have a Japanese copy up there. I've got an American complete in box copy sitting right down there up on the shelf. So why do I display the Japanese instead of the American? It's not because of the rarity of it. It's not because it looks cooler. I mean, granted, the box art looks a lot better. But the reason that copy is up there is because Father K, Simon from the Junkyard, a year ago, or a little more than a year ago, I actually became involved with the retro gaming community again. It had been years since I've been actively involved. I mean, yeah, I sat back on the sidelines and went through the forums and got on YouTube or whatever the case is, but I hadn't really been involved with the community. And whenever I got back involved with it, it wasn't but a couple of months later we started TitanCast. I got back involved with YouTube creation. And Simon was the guy who enabled that. He was the one who was very supportive of it. And he came to me and he was like, hey man, I've got a couple of games. Do you want one? And I was like, sure, you know, what's it gonna cost me, I guess? And he's like, no charge. And this guy lives in the UK. He sent this game to me. See, I keep that up there proudly displayed, not because it's, I mean, yes, it is a game that impacted me. I can still remember when that giant box of a ship come down and just annihilated everything, and I'm sitting here like, what happened to this world? Why do I have this dragon? What is the history of all this around me? I can remember that. But really, that copy sits on that shelf because it was the moment where I really made a lifelong friend. This 60-year-old guy, or however old Simon is, you know, sorry if I'm getting your age wrong, man, but this guy from all the way across the world that I would have never met otherwise has become such a close and integral part of my life. And that serves as testament to that friendship. It serves as testament to the friendliness and the camaraderie that's in this community where we just throw stuff out there. Another example would be this right here. I show this all the time. I've showed this in videos I don't know how many times. It's not just this, it's this cardboard sleeve right here. David Lee, Sega Saturn Shiro, asked me at the last minute to be a part of a contest on a Facebook community. And he said, hey man, you know, I really got this cool box art. I think you might really enjoy it. And granted, this box art is amazing. But I keep that right behind it. Because that right there is another friendship that was earned. It was another friendship that was gained through this community, through actually involving myself in it and going back through our histories and trying to learn about these games in our own perspectives. Because I can get on YouTube right now and I can find a review for any game. I can find games that are going to be 9 out of 10, 5 out of 10, whatever the case is. But I don't care about those scores. If I want to play a game, I mean, let's be realistic, y'all. It's 2018. I can download a ROM to it and I can play it. I don't care what Nintendo or anybody else does. But it's not about that. I want to go through the motions. I want to go through the feelings. I want to go through the thoughts that other people went through. I want to be a part of their world. I want to see games the way they saw them. The very same thing I'm trying to do with this channel. And whenever David came to me, and I was the very first number he picked, and he sent this to me, and I still, to this day, do not have a game to go in here, and yet I keep it up there on display. Hell, I'm not even a fan of Knights, but I've learned so much about that game through him that it's absolutely amazing. See, that's the thing about this community. That's the thing about gaming. It's not about how much is on your shelf. Never let somebody tell you that you don't have enough to be a true fan or a true collector or whatever name they want to put on it. I don't know at what point this became a bragging contest or who came up with the idea that you have to do this to be this. But so long as you enjoy the game, so long as you get something out of it, I don't care if it's an hour a day, an hour a week. This is a passion project. It's a hobby. And if you get enjoyment from sitting over there and collecting umpteen games and throwing them on a shelf, or if you get enjoyment out of playing it for 5 minutes, however you want to play it, play it. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about collecting. It's about those moments. It's about playing the games. Sorry for the off the cuff, but it's been a while. And I wanted to get video out, and I wanted to get some thoughts out. Leave me some feedback in the bottom. And as always, it's the SSG, signing out.